The streets of Tehran tell a story the government doesn't want you to hear. Right now, inflation in Iran has exploded past 50%, and families are making impossible choices just to survive. Here's what's happening. Iran's economy is in free fall. Official figures confirm inflation has crossed the 50% threshold, meaning prices have more than doubled in less than 2 years. The trigger? A U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports has strangled the country's lifeblood, oil exports. What was once a steady stream of revenue has slowed to a trickle. The result is catastrophic. The cost of bread, rice, medicine, even basic necessities has skyrocketed. One mother in Isfahan told reporters she now spends her entire monthly salary just feeding her children. Businesses are closing their doors. Unemployment is climbing. And there's no relief in sight. But this crisis didn't appear overnight. The blockade came after a fragile ceasefire paused recent fighting in the region. While the guns may have stopped, the economic warfare intensified. Iran, heavily dependent on oil revenue to fund government operations and subsidize food and fuel, suddenly found itself cut off from global markets. Western sanctions had already weakened the currency. Now, with ports under blockade, the Iranian rial has collapsed. Black market exchange rates have surged. Imports have become prohibitively expensive. And domestic production can't keep up with demand. For years, Iran's economy has been battered by international pressure, but this blockade represents a new level of isolation. The government has tried to pivot, seeking trade routes through neighboring countries and bolstering ties with Russia and China. But these workarounds take time, and time is something ordinary Iranians don't have. The human cost is staggering. In marketplaces across Iran, shoppers are haggling over potatoes. Factory workers are being laid off in waves as companies can't afford raw materials. Medical shortages are growing as imported pharmaceuticals become scarce. One shopkeeper in Shiraz said he's seen neighbors, people who once lived comfortably, now asking for credit just to buy eggs. International observers are warning of a humanitarian crisis. Meanwhile, protests have erupted sporadically, with demonstrators demanding the government find solutions. Authorities have responded with a mix of promises and crackdowns. Regional powers are watching closely. Some Arab states see Iran's economic weakness as a strategic advantage. Others worry about refugee flows and regional instability if the situation worsens. The international community remains divided. The US insists the blockade will remain until specific conditions are met. Iran calls it economic terrorism and refuses to negotiate under pressure. What comes next? Analysts predict inflation could climb even higher if the blockade holds. The Iranian government is scrambling to secure alternative revenue streams, but options are limited. Watch for potential back-channel negotiations. Watch for increased domestic unrest. And watch for ripples across the Middle East as Iran's economic collapse reshapes regional power dynamics. The ceasefire may have stopped the bombs, but for millions of Iranians, the real battle is just beginning. Stay informed. Stay ahead. This is Viral News Hourly.